Can you believe we are halfway through the year? And with that being said, I think it's time for a mid-year reset. And if you know me, and if you've been on my channel for years, you know I love resetting. I am heavily influenced by a fresh start. I love the start of a new week, the start of a new month, the start of a new year. And as we are teetering to mid-year, I think it's important to take a step back, really honestly swim up to the surface, take a deep breath, look at how far we've come, and get prepped for the next 6 months ahead. Whether you're wanting to just take some time to declutter and deep clean your space, or you're wanting to refocus your goals, reset some habits, and take action, this video is going to be for you. I'm going to be sharing with you guys some tips on how to reset mid-year. So with that being said, take what you love, leave what you don't, and let's get into this video. To start, we're going to focus in on the 3 R's: relax, refresh, and reflect. Now, starting off with relaxing. We have just gone through the craziest 6 months ever, the quickest 6 months ever. You have probably not taken one moment to just breathe, to just take it all in and let it all out. And this is your time to relax. If you're a student, you're probably entering into your summer months. You're probably entering into summer break. If you're a fitness girly, you probably hit the ground running in January and you haven't taken a break from your healthy fitness habits. Most of us just enter in a slower season in the summer months in general. So this is the perfect time to just breathe, relax. Go to the pool, go to the beach, go to the river, whatever is closest to you in your area. Just go outside, connect with nature, and just relax. Take a deep breath because you have made it through the wilderness. You've made it through the first 6 months of the year, and it's just time for you to treat yourself and reward yourself for working so hard this first half of the year. Now, after that, we're gonna be moving into refresh mode. I love refreshing my space every quarter, but mid-year is really a time where I love to just do a full-blown deep clean of the house. And I mean deep clean. I'm not doing a deep declutter, but deep clean, getting into the corners, getting into the baseboards, deep cleaning my home so it can just feel refreshed, revived, and replenished. If you're someone who loves to declutter during this time, this is the perfect time to do it. Maybe declutter some of your closet space, maybe declutter your office, whatever it is. I think this is a perfect time to just refresh wherever you need to refresh in your home. Recently, we did a whole patio refresh because we love sitting in the patio in the spring and summer months and the fall. Boy, did our patio need a refresh. Okay, we had to wash all of our cushions. We pressure washed the floor, the back area. We replanted a whole bunch of plants, and now we are just so happy about how our backyard looks. And now we're sitting back there almost daily because we took the time to just refresh that space, because it's something that we've been needing to do for so long. It really did rejuvenate our spirits and our emotions. Take some time to refresh a space or take on a house project, a house improvement project that you've been wanting to take on for a while. Maybe a nice little bathroom reno, a living room makeover, whatever floats your boat. This is the perfect time to do it mid-year. Now that you've taken some time to relax and refresh your space, it's time to grab your journal or your laptop, take a seat, and reflect on the last 6 months, because 6 months goes by so fast. And if you don't take a moment to reflect on the things that you have achieved, it's going to feel like you haven't achieved anything when you have. And when you do take some time to reflect on the things that you have done, it really does build your confidence and it really does help you want to achieve more. Let's start off by answering these questions. You can answer this in your journal or your laptop or in your notes app, or you can just answer this out loud with me. What goals have you achieved so far? What mindset and or habits allowed you to reach those goals? What goals have you not started on? And what is holding you back from taking action? So when you take the time to look at the things that you've actually achieved, it reinforces that confidence within you to be able to take action on your other goals. And I just want to say this, just because you haven't started on a goal doesn't mean you're a failure, doesn't mean you're falling behind, okay? This is a mid-year reset, essentially a mid-year check-in with yourself. This is a perfect time for you to just look at your goals that you wrote out at the beginning of the year and really figure out why you are pushing certain goals to the side and what you can do to actually take action. action. This past year, we ran our first race. We ran a 10K. This is something I've been wanting to do for so long. And every single year I would push it back and I would push it back until the year ended and I didn't accomplish that goal. So last year, when I took a seat to write out my goals for this year, I totally had a conversation with myself on what kept me from achieving that goal in the past. Obviously, there were so many factors, family events and things just happening in life. However, I really honestly didn't make it happen because I was choosing to do it at a time that I knew was super busy for us in our lives. So when I reflected on that, I was like, okay, maybe instead of trying to run the race in the fall/winter, I should maybe start trying to run a race in the early parts of the year /spring. And that's what I did this time. And it actually ended up working because I ended up having a lot more energy from the new year. I was really pumped and I started training as soon as the new year hit, and I ran my race in April and I trained thoroughly for it. And I'm so proud of myself for doing that. The thing is, I wasn't able to do this the last 3 years that I set that goal. And it was because I didn't take a step back and really look at what was holding me back and what I needed to do differently to actually achieve it. When you actually take the time to write out the things that you've achieved and how you achieve those things and the things that are holding you back and why they're holding you back, it can really help you figure things out and get you closer to where you actually want to be. This is the perfect time to reflect on that and reflect on what you're going to do in the next 6 months to hit the goal that you've set for yourself. I know so many of you said that you guys want to run races too. I think the first step to running a race is just signing up for it. Obviously, look at your schedule first. Make sure you don't have any family events or anything like that going on around the event, because that's been a mistake of ours. But look at your schedule or your calendar first. Find a race in your city or in a different city and book it immediately. And then you can go from there to start training and all that good stuff. But booking it is the first step, and then training and getting yourself outside or on a treadmill is the next step. Next, it's time to reframe your thinking when it comes to your goals. This is the part that is so important. This is how you actually see true progress. Go back to the reflection question and look at your answer for the question, what is holding you back from taking action? Look at the answers that you wrote for that. Sometimes whenever we write out the things that are holding us back, these things aren't the things that are holding us back. Sometimes there's probably another solution to getting us where we want to be. We just don't have the ability to reframe our thinking. Great example, so many of us have weight loss goals. We want to lose weight, we want to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever it is, right? If you wrote down that you wanted to lose 5 to 10 pounds before the summer, however, you ate out way too much, that was what was holding you back from hitting that goal. Yes, eating out too much can be the reason why you didn't hit that goal, but reframe your thinking with this and maybe look at it like this. Maybe you weren't able to hit your goal because outside of eating out, you didn't prioritize whole foods. You didn't prioritize eating at home as much as possible. Maybe eating out isn't the problem. Maybe it's everything outside of eating out that is the actual problem. When you take a step back to actually reframe your thinking and reframe the way you see your life, the way you see your habits and your routine, it's going to be a lot easier for you to actually set systems that are going to get you closer to the person that you want to become. So instead of looking at it as I'm eating out too much, well, eating out probably isn't the problem. You can still lose weight and eat out. Maybe you need to start meal prepping on Sundays a bit more. Start buying more groceries, setting yourself up for success, getting to the grocery store at the beginning of the week or after work a few times a week, getting whole foods in your fridge, getting fruits and vegetables in your kitchen so you are less likely to go eat out. Reframe your thinking when it comes to the things that you want to achieve. That's how you build better systems, and that's how you get closer to the goal. Now, there's so many students who watch my channel, and you guys are always asking me for advice to be productive and all that good stuff. Now, this is the perfect time to reframe your thinking when it comes to school. Maybe you had a goal to make 80% of your grades be A's and 20% of your grades be B's or C's or whatever. Maybe at the end of the semester, you only made about 50% A's, 50% B's. I still think that's great, but you set the goal at the beginning of the year. Take a look at why you did not hit or reach that goal and figure out what you can do differently entering into the fall semester. As a student, you might think the thing that was holding you back was being too involved in extracurricular activities or being too social. But if you reframe your thinking and look back at the semester, maybe you took on too much. Maybe you enrolled yourself in too many courses that you just couldn't handle this semester. Maybe if you take a step back, take less courses, maybe you will be able to reach that goal. Reframe your thinking in that way, because let's be real, the extracurriculars are just as important as the curriculum that you're taking. So reframe your thinking and see what can actually work for you. I did this so much in college. Like, I changed up the way I registered for classes so many different semesters. I remember my first year, I want to say I was like taking 16 to 18 credits, which is actually crazy and just too much. And then after that, I signed up for 14, which I think was just too little. I really thought that that was the solution when it wasn't. What the real solution was I was just taking too many hard classes all at once. I was taking calculus and OChem and all of these crazy classes all at the same time. It wasn't the amount of classes I was taking. It was the rigorous courses I was taking in one semester that was really bringing me down and wasn't helping me reach my fullest potential. Reframe your thinking, because it could honestly change everything for yourself. Try different things and don't hold yourself back because you think that you are just not capable of it because of one mindset or one habit. Next, you need to choose a goal or two that you are going to focus in on for the next 6 months and set a realistic timeline for this goal. If you are trying to start a business, or you're trying to go on a weight loss journey, or you are trying to start a new project, whatever it is, yes, you have 6 months to accomplish this goal. However, when you factor in the end of the summer, all of the holidays, the holiday season that comes up in November and December, just random things that come up throughout the year, realistically, you probably only have around 3 months and some change to really accomplish a few goals. To be completely honest, the most that you can probably focus your time and energy on is one big goal and maybe one smaller goal. Be realistic with your timeline. Yes, you have 6 months, but realistically, you probably have a good 3.5 months when you factor in holidays and all of that good stuff and resting and hanging out with friends and whatnot. So set a realistic timeline for the things that you want to accomplish moving forward, so you are not bringing yourself down and ruining your confidence for not being able to do 100 things at once, because you are human. You are not meant to work at 100% every single day. Now, there are seasons of our lives where we do, and we push the gas and we don't stop. And I totally support that. Trust me, I do. However, if you're trying to be a little bit more realistic with your goals and hit them in a timeline that feels comfortable with your life, then I highly advise you to just set a realistic timeline for yourself, set realistic systems in place, and go from there. I'm going to talk a little bit about my schedule and how I work throughout the year. Now, when it comes to June and July, the summer months, I love to relax a bit more. I love to just spend time with friends and family. My birthday is in July, so I spend my birthday traveling typically, and I relax. I really do relax, tap into hobbies that I've been wanting to do for so long that I've kind of pushed on the back burner, and it's the perfect time to do it because it's the summer. Now, once August rolls around, I just start to refocus, reset, get back into more productive habits. And I think a lot of us are like this because of school. Growing up, going to school, we reset, we refocus in August, especially here in America, because that's when school is back in session here. Also, I was a teacher for 6 years, so I don't know. August is just a time where I just refocus. It has not left my system at all, and I try to get back to my productive habits and I reel things back in. Not drinking as much, not hanging out as much, just getting back into being more productive when August rolls around. September, whatever goal I want to accomplish, that's when I'm going to start working on it. September, October, and a little bit of November. Once the end of November comes around, we're hitting the holiday season. And that's when a lot of us start to dwindle down, right? We start to move back into pulling inward. We start to spend more time with friends and family again. I like to think think that November and December very much mirror June and July, right? It's another time where we just pull more inward, we spend more time with friends and family. It's just different seasons, right? It's hot in June and July and it's cold in November and December, but it is another holiday season that comes around. And that is a time where I just tie up loose ends and just spend time with friends and family. So when you look at that timeline, my realistic timeline, if I want to start a project, whether it's releasing some type of digital product or a physical product or running a half marathon or whatever it is, I have a good 3.5 months to hit the ground running for those things before the year ends. And that's just how I see it for my life. Look at your life and the things you have planned for yourself and make a realistic timeline for the things that you want to achieve. Just be mindful of your life and the things you have going on. We're all different. We all have just different things happening. So don't leave out those things. I know a few years ago, I really wanted to run 5K in December. We actually paid for the 5K and we weren't able to go because it was the weekend of one of my friends' birthdays and I should have known she was gonna throw a party. It was like her 30th and stuff. Long story short, we weren't able to run the 5K that weekend. It's just important for you to be realistic with your life and the things going on before setting your timeline for the end of the year. And then lastly, set new systems for success. We all know what a goal is. A goal is a result you want to achieve. A system is a process that leads you to those results. So setting new systems to help lead you to success for that goal is the most important thing. What systems are you going to set in place for you to hit the goal you want to achieve? If you are trying to run a half marathon by the end of the year, I think that's an amazing goal, right? What systems do you need to set in place for you to actually start training for that half marathon? Maybe start off with downloading an app, a running app. There's Strava, there's the Nike Run Club app. There's several apps that you can use to help you get closer to running a half marathon. So once you download those apps, it's going to give you a schedule, a running schedule that you need to stick to leading up to the race. But what systems are going to actually get you from point A to point B, get you to start training for that half marathon? Maybe you want to buy yourself some new running shoes or some new trainers. Maybe you should start packing your running outfits with you in your car so you can go straight to the trail after work and get your run in. These are all little systems that are going to get you closer to the big goal, which is running a half marathon. And obviously it takes more than that, I know that, but the little systems are going to get you from point A to point B because there's a reason you haven't started training, right? There's a reason you haven't started training. You don't know where to start. You don't know what first steps you need to take. And I'm giving them to you, right? Download an app, figure out a training schedule, get the trainers that you need, get the running outfits that you want. You don't even need to buy them. Go look in your closet and see what you have. Start your training process from there. Start slow, start small, and work your way up. But you have to start somewhere. And a lot of times we just have to set better systems that are going to lead us to more success in our lives. And lastly, don't forget to have fun. Don't forget about the fun goals that you set at the beginning of the year, the fun goals that you set at the beginning of the summer. Don't forget to take that tennis class that you've been wanting to take or go to that pottery class you've been wanting to go to for so long. Taking a nice weekend trip, or maybe doing a nice staycation in your city, exploring a different part of your city. Don't forget the fun moments in between the productive habits because they're just as important when it comes to building your confidence and building yourself up during this journey. Don't forget the good moments. Don't forget spending time with friends and family. Obviously, it's really hard when you have a goal in front of you and you just want to be laser focused on that goal, but it's important to remember those little moments in between because it's what helps fuel you forward. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. I hope that you've taken some time to just at least reflect a little bit on this first half of the year. Time goes by so fast, and I think it's just really important for us to just take a step back, swim up to the surface, and take a deep breath, and just look at how far we've come. It can be so hard to do that, especially when life just gets so busy and we just have so much going on. And then before we know it, the end of the year is here and we just can't believe it. I know today or every day when I wake up, I look at the calendar calendar and I just cannot believe the month we're in. I can't believe it's June. We're gonna be entering into July soon. Like, I just can't believe how fast this year is going. It happens every year, but it doesn't not make it crazy. Let me know what resonated with you down below. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, Girl Scout. Bye.